presentar a una persona que es muy importante para los Pedro Pan, pero la voy a presentar en inglés para que las personas que no hablan español que están con nosotros, por favor, que puedan también entender. I am very deeply honored to introduce to you a person that is very dear to us, Dr. Dennis Baker and his wife Kay. And Dr. Dennis Baker is here representing his father, Jim Baker. 50 years ago, a group of events occurred at the same time that became very important in the history of Cuba. And this was, the exodus of the Pedro Pan kids that became possible thanks to the efforts of two people, Monsignor Walsh and Mr. James Baker. Mr. James Baker was at the time the headmaster of Ruston Academy, the school to which my sisters and I went. And he, in Cuba, made it possible for Monsignor Walsh to welcome the kids in the United States. I don't think any of you would be here, or at least would not have been here through Pedro Pan had it not been for Mr. Baker. I would like to introduce his son, Dr. Dennis Baker, and tell you a little bit about him. His resume is quite impressive, so I'm only going to go through the highlights. He is a graduate of Columbia University, professor of the Department of Surgery of UCLA School of Medicine, chief of Vascular Surgery Section, VA Medical Center, Sepulveda, VA Medical Center Director, Surgical Intensive Care Unit, VA Medical Center Chairman, Central Venous Nutrition Committee, Director of the UCLA Gonda Vascular Laboratory, where he had a major involvement in non-invasive vascular testing, member of the UCLA Adult Care Committee, Division of General Surgery Executive Committee, Surgery Education Committee, Chairman Advisory Committee on Education. Medical Director at UCLA on Ward 7, West 6E ICU, 7 West ICU. Has done research in different areas of vascular disease and surgery. His editorial activities have involved such journals as Vascular Reports, Journal of Vascular Surgery, and Clinical Infectious Diseases, just to name a few. He has made so many publications it would be hard for me to mention them, but they are spanning the years from 1962 to 2007. It is my deep honor to welcome Dr. Dennis Baker.
Me da gran gusto estar aquí representando a la familia y ahora defender a los pocos que no hablan español voy a cambiar. I won't put you through the whole speech in Spanish. Hopefully I'll keep the comments short. I'm here to represent my father and mother for the work that they did, helping to create what has become a very important effort. What?
You have to put it closer.
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yes.
Much better, much better.
That's why you married me.
But I think just to give a couple of quick stories to put it in perspective from where my parents came into this. Operation Pedro Pan started as a very small subterranean effort by my father to help some people who were desperate in the underground movement in 1960. He came and said, we can't get out of the country, but we're desperate to get our children out. And he was able to arrange what later became the visa waiver program, which allowed unaccompanied children, which was illegal at the time, to come into the United States without a formal visa. And that was really the quasi-legal basis on which most of you came out, was this sort of visa waiver program. It started very small, but the word spread. Needless to say, in 1961, with the break in diplomatic relations, the American embassy called him and said, you don't work for us, but we want to take you out with our group because we can't protect you anymore. So my parents went to Florida, and my father essentially volunteered for about a year and a half, and he met every plane coming out of Cuba for about 7 or 8 months until he had to take a job. And he would just meet the planes, and sometimes the children were told, you're going on a trip and Mr. Baker will meet you and take you someplace. That was all they knew. And he would meet the planes and he would collect the kids and put them in the car, take them to wherever there were dorm space or room. He very quickly hooked up with then Father Walsh, ultimately Monsignor Walsh, who all of you have probably met at one point or another, and the two of them formed a great team. It's a story that my father, actually my mother loved to tell. Sort of, they tried to keep a little humor in this rather desperate time. And one day someone called the house and said, excuse me, may I speak with Father Baker, please? And my mother said, well, he's not here right now, but this is Mrs. Baker. Can I help you? She said there was deathly quiet and a click. No colder. That's the kind of thing that my parents, if you keep humor in things, even the tough things work out. But I want to thank you for your inviting me here and for recognizing my father, particularly my father and mother, because they were a team. And the work that they did in starting this underground movement that became rather large. Thank you.
I'm not here to tell you any stories about my life as a family. I'm here today to talk about a very important family. A family who made an impact in my life, my brother's life, my family life, and many other kids. And that's the Carrion family. Here. And in order to talk to them, I know you didn't want to be here, so it's up to you to sit down and say it. So, can I help you? You stay here, okay, fine. In order for me to talk about them, I need to, unfortunately, tell you a little bit about myself. I left on the last flight from Camagüey. There were direct flights from Camagüey to Miami. That's 4 days before the VOP, April 13th. I arrived in Kendall, and I had the opportunity a couple of times to talk, to see Carrion. And then, I guess I made a good impression on him, because in June, that was a joke by the way, in June of 1961, I was transferred to what we used to call La Casa Carrion, where Monsignor Walsh used to live. Now, from this point on, I'm going to call him a Cura Walsh, because that's how we used to talk to him all the time. So, La Casa Carrion had different names. As a matter of fact, Mr. Baker was a house party in the Casa Carrion. So, Alicia, no, I'm not sorry. Nina and Carrion had 6 kids. I was closer to Hector and Tony. For those of you who know them, they're identical. Only their wife can tell the difference. Nobody else can tell that exactly. They look exactly the same. They started actually working in Brickell in January 1961 with a Cura Walsh. Carrion also had 2 sisters that actually worked as house parents in Florida City. Now let me tell you about this man right here. A lot of you know about Hector Carrion because he's a well-known Cuban-American businessman. But I'm not going to talk about that part of Hector Carrion. I'm going to talk about the Hector Carrion that I knew in '61. He started as a janitor. Can you believe that? Look how successful he is today. And he started back in Miami as a janitor. If I could write like Yvonne Conde, I would write a book on him. Believe me, I would make millions. So, he was a janitor. He used to clean the toilets, clean the floor. We used to call him and his brother Los Esclavos, the slaves. They used to take us to school. You name it, they did it for us. Very special people. Now, of course, Carrion Senior, what can I say? Oh, Carrion. Carrion was like a father and a mother to me. They actually moved to Oregon in June of 1962. I didn't know that the bond until Hector told me. But I remember going to see him in June '62 because I was moving to California when my father was here, and we were extremely happy. My mother and I and my brother were extremely happy to move to California to see my father. And as you get older, you get more sentimental. So now, my kids tell me I remind of that guy who's the minority leader in the House of the Senate. You go, "Who?" and he cries. I went to see him, and I never forget that because I got very sentimental. Even though I was really happy to see my father, I told him, "Carrión, I'm leaving, blah, 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 blah." He saw me very sentimental. And me puso el brazo encima y me dijo, "No te preocupes, todo va a salir muy bien y pronto nos veremos en Cuba." Bueno, Hector and Carrión worked at a toy company until 1966 when the company moved to California, while Carrión stayed in Oregon where he died just too young. January 1968 at the age of only 51. Nina died in 2003. She was 83. And now to finish, I'm going to tell you the only story that, it's kind of, I hope I don't insult anyone, and forgive me, Father Sarah. We were called into the living room one day by Carrión, and we were watching a group. Remember, I was 16, and we were between 15 and 17 in the house. And they called us, "You are going to go to a Catholic retreat." And I said, "Wow, that sounds exciting, you know. Catholic retreat, we got out of the house, they go to the retreat." So we got there, and it reminded me of The Biggest Loser. It was a big place, for those who see the door, no reaction. It was a big place with a lot of buildings, and then we spent a couple days. We heard, I don't know how many masses, we went to confession, and we made all kind of commitments to our faith. Then, by the end of Sunday, forgive me, Father Sarah, we were more holy than the Pope. Okay? So what we did was kind of crazy. We went back and Carrión told us, "Hey, welcome back, guys, what's going on?" "Bueno, estamos bien, Carrión." Lucíamos un poquito serio, ¿no? Y nos dice, ¿qué van a hacer? No, we'll let you know. Okay, so we did something crazy. At that age, we knew that a lot of kids were magazines in different places of the house for different reasons. You're 15, 16, you collect magazines. So we decided to. You guys got that? Okay, so there's no minors here, right? So what happened is that we collected all the magazines, we put it on the cardboard box. Then we used to live in a 2-story apartment house, and then on the second floor there was a patio, and that patio was the roof of the den downstairs, right? And it was an old house made out of wood. We put all these dirty magazines, and we put them in a box, and we throw a match on it to get rid of all these things. Oh my goodness! So the smoke was going all over the place. Carrión came out, and he was very nice. He said, "Well, ¿qué están haciendo ustedes?" He threw a bucket of water and he put it away. Well, the bottom line is that the Carrión family was very important to us. And Hector and Tony were very important to us, and we want to say thank you. Thank you for the impact that you had in our life.
Muchas gracias por honrar a la familia Carrión, mis padres en particular. Ellos fueron de los primeros foster parents de la organización. Yo no tuve la oportunidad de ser Pedro Pan, es un orgullo. Yo fui el esclavo que trabajé y limpié Todavía tengo unas cuantas medias guardadas de las que sacaba de abajo con la aspiradora. Así que, thank you very much. Yes, y conmigo tengo a mi señora, mi hijo, mi hija, que, by the way, ella fue bautizada por el Father Walsh. Cuando ella nació en el año 62, él bautizó a mi hija. Muchas gracias a todos.
There's no It took the show. So, anyway, on behalf of the Cuban kids on Pedro Pans of the 60s, we want to take this opportunity to honor your family for all the dedication to the kids. En nombre de todos los Pedro Pans y los niños cubanos que venimos acá a los 14.048, que ya no quedan mucho. Desgraciadamente, han pasado los años y desgraciadamente hemos perdido mucho. Perdimos a nuestra juventud. Solamente Montana se suicidaron dos. Ustedes no saben la historia esa. Pero, y ya muchos estamos en Social Security. Pero, anyway, quería tomar la oportunidad para darte las gracias, Carlos, como amigo. Para mí es un privilegio como amigo, ha sido de una vida, como dice Arturo, una gran familia. Para mí es un orgullo ser tu amigo y queremos presentarte esta placa en nombre, como te dije, de los Pedro Pans, por la dedicación de tu familia, no solamente tu mamá y tu papá, pero tu familia también trabajaron en Florida City, muchos no saben eso. La familia Carrión se dedicaron a cuidar y a darle ese amor a todos esos niños cubanos que necesitábamos ese amor, que buscábamos ese amor, porque créeme que pasamos mucho trabajo y todos lo sabemos, pero no vamos a entrar en eso. Así que, on behalf of the Cuban kids and the Pedro Pans, te quiero presentar esta placa. We did.
Time has now come to point out a couple of people here with us, all the way from Miami, Florida. And we'd like to welcome, and please give him a warm welcome for Carmen Romanach. She is the newly elected president of Operation Pedro Pan Group in Miami. Que de la misma organización que creo que es la secretaria, ¿correcto? Ángel Gutiérrez Mani, que es el que corre el website de todo corazón. Gracias por estar aquí con nosotros. Un viaje tan grande desde allá de Miami, ¿ok? Oscar is better known as Mr. Emails, research and information, so everybody knows if they need anything like that, that's you need to talk to. Okay? Then we have Arturo Anestela Bueno. Sergio Díaz, lamentablemente no está aquí hoy con nosotros porque está hoy. Próximamente está Aldo Montoto, que ya lo reconocemos. Raúl Acevedo, que en realidad Leila es la que casi siempre está aquí. Enrique García. Ahora, lo más cómico de esto es, a ver, párate, Enrique, lo más cómico de esto es que Enrique, nadie pregunta por Enrique. Todo el mundo pregunta por Felipe, porque es la que nos mantiene con Enrique. Párate, Felipe, para que sepan quién eres.
Párate. Oye, pero no tiene que...